Why do we create art? Look Back tells the story of Fujino and Kiyomoto, two young artists that cross paths. Fujino is the school's premier manga artist until she sees the masterful work of Kiyomoto. Fujino creates this rivalry in her head and sets out to improve herself. While she does make massive strides, she still sees that she'll never be able to catch up, and thus she quits. Fujino recites herself to not create anymore until she has a chance encounter with Kiyomoto and finds out she's actually a diehard fan of hers. Kiyomoto is shy and keeps to herself. But from here, a budding friendship begins to grow. As they grow up, they create multiple one-shot mangas that win them awards. And their manga, Shark Kick, is eventually serialized into an anime. But when it comes time to start, Kiyomoto tells Fujino she wants to start art school and become a more well-rounded artist. And it's at this point I thought the conflict would be that they grow apart and then eventually make up and come back together as friends. But that's when we have a sad and unfortunate twist. A twist that is all too realistic. As we grow up, we on some level outgrow our friendships and our relationships. We move in different directions. It's not shown that Fujino and Kiyomoto keep in touch while they're in college. It's sort of implied that there's a broken connection there. And that's when this movie has its sharp turn. There's an attack at the art school and Kiyomoto is killed. There's a heartbreak in there that these two girls, these two friends, will never be able to reconnect, that they couldn't fix what was broken before one of them tragically lost their lives, that they were never able to reconcile after their falling out. As Fujino cries by the room where they first met, this is the part where there's a light touch of whimsy comes into play. It's never explained, but somehow there's a paradox that's created where in one timeline, Fujino and Kiyomoto become friends, whereas in the other timeline, they don't, at least not initially. Kiyomoto is still alive. Kiyomoto is warned not to come out of her room the day they meet. And as the years pass by, Kiyomoto still decides to go to art school and paint. But there she is still attacked. But this time, and maybe the only odd thing about the movie, Fujino saves her. They connect and become friends in this timeline. It's at this point that a small little piece of manga goes back underneath the door that Fujino sees. And in this weird paradox timeline, Kiyomoto is still alive, well, and happy. Fujino resigns herself to continue to create manga in spite of her grief. This movie is beautiful for a litany of reasons. The art style is crisp and smooth, which is no easy feat. Particularly during this running scene, the animation looks gorgeous, absolutely. Especially when trying to translate a one-shot manga into a full movie, where they add so much life to these shots, these one single pages. I'll admit, during my first viewing, I didn't think this movie was that great. I understood, I liked the story, I understand everything they were going for, it just, some stuff kind of flew over my head. The ideas, the themes, and the messages didn't really resonate well with me. After rewatching this a few times, that's when I began to realize some of the stuff does kind of stick with you. What the story is about and what's trying to say. To start, the idea of being a creative kid and having that creativity stomped out of you by people telling you it's not a career. When are you going to get a real job? Things of this nature. It's not easy to keep that spark alive, even when you have all the support in the world. Finding a rival to make you better and then pulling a Goku and becoming friends with this person, they only make you better. Only working together to create something as a unit, as a team, it's something to be proud of. But then, it's too common. The sting of growing up and drifting apart and finding other paths in your life. A pain I think we're all too familiar with. Chances are you don't keep in touch with your college friends. Maybe your high school friends. Maybe not even your middle school friends. You grow into different people. There's no heat, no anger, no hatred. Only the sad reality of life pushing you in one way as you begin to grow. Then the pain of knowing you can't go back and fix things. The pain of knowing you can't go back and speak with that one person one more time. The pain of loss. It's tragic on some level, but I'm reminded of a quote. Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. While we see in one timeline that things went differently, I think Fujino finds some level of comfort in knowing that things could be different, but she will continue on. Is she drawing now for Kiyomoto? For friendship? For herself? We don't know, and that's the point. Why do we draw? Why do we write? Why do we paint? Create movies? Why do we create art?